Diet is one of the most important things. When you do a small fast, you'll realize you start pacing in the kitchen, or you start thinking about food, right? And you begin to realize that a lot of the tendencies that we incur when it comes to eating is just like no thinking. It's just, I feel hungry, I'm gonna eat. I feel hungry, I'm gonna eat. Back in the day, you had to go hunt. You had to go get your food. So it's also about how you position yourself. I was saying yesterday to a buddy, make it so hard to lose that it becomes easy to win. So it's like, what's in your pantry?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if your pantry's with only clean food, whole foods, then you're not gonna have this fight. And a lot of these things come down to personal fight. So if you clean your diet, you clean your water, and you clean your sleep, add a little bit of mobility, a little bit of exercise, you're doing better than 95% of people. When you add a layer on top of that is your skeletal muscle, right? So after the age of like 35, your body starts to break down. You're gonna start feeling it, G. Like, it's just natural. So if you have a strong skeletal muscle and you have good flexibility, great joints, you're gonna be able to live and feel really, really good into the long age. It's all about longevity. It's all about longevity. You don't wanna be feeling like an aesthetic king and not feel good inside. So I think it's also about taking care of the inside, making sure the colon is clean. And the final part is where happiness comes from at a chemical level, which would be your serotonin. And serotonin is produced mostly in the gut. It's not produced in the brain. So naturally, by having a healthy gut, you have what? Healthy mood. When you get to an older age, you have to be able to move. It's so important. I see older guys on Instagram all the time, 67-year-old dudes doing sprints, pull-ups. These are the things that inspire me. At the end of the day, when you're 75, 80, doesn't matter how much money you have. If you have that, you're in the top 1% of society. You're at the best of the highest echelons. Getting to those things, it's a good achievement. And it doesn't take long to reverse bad decisions. That's what a lot of people don't realize. When you go to the gym, you need to understand, like, everything in life and initially feels like bad reinforcement. You start going to the gym, you feel weak in order to become strong. You go to the library, you read, you don't understand, you feel stupid in order to become smart. The process of discomfort is inevitable. You have to go through it. Most people have that initial feeling, that initial lack of self-belief, because they don't understand that they have to be humbled first in every aspect in order to grow. So you go to the gym, you feel like shit, that's a good thing. It just shows you that you need to improve. Most people go to the gym, feel like shit, never go back. Put on an oversized t-shirt. Problem covered. No, it's not the problem, it's not covered. You need to go through that parallel problem solving, you solve it, and then you get the reward. Every aspect of life has it. It comes down to getting your essential nutrients and essential minerals. Most of it, unfortunately, has been stripped away from the food that we eat. So you have to supplement, right? And it's just the nature of where we are in society today. There are certain countries where you can go and you wouldn't need it. If you live in the United States, the food supply, for example, is so fucked up that you need to supplement with certain things. But I don't subscribe to, 100 pills in your closet, because everybody's trying to pitch you something. So the question is, why is it that you're taking what you're taking? So for example, I'll take like today, before coming into the podcast, I took lion's mane mushrooms, right? So lion's mane mushrooms helps with clarity of the mind. So I just took that, now I feel great. Instead of resorting to caffeine like everybody does or some other thing, I'm like, okay, let me go for a natural remedy. And what I've come to find out is that anything that pharmacies want to sell you, nature has a natural form of remedy to cover you. So just finding those alternatives and tapping into those things, because it's medicine. So it's when you need them. So for example, I'm 29. I'm starting to get white hair. So it's not that I'm getting old, it's that there's a deficiency, right? A deficiency in a couple things, calcium, iron, a couple things that I've identified. So what do I need to do? Supplement for that in order to reverse it. It's not that I'm getting old, there's a reverse factor. So it all comes down to what you need for the time that you need it. Different people should be supplementing differently in accordance to their needs. So for example, like, I don't do well with caffeine, right? So everybody tells me, whenever you're tired, have caffeine. But that's not the solution for me, because I know how my body works and I've done it. So I take caffeine, I get jittery. Yeah. And whenever somebody's like, you should supplement caffeine because caffeine is a super nootropic. Mm-hmm. Well, when I take it, it fucks me up. I don't feel good. I don't feel myself. So what do? I'll just take a nap, or I'll drink some water and just calm down and chill out, maybe work out, whatever it is, find another remedy. So every person has a different way of supplementing. What I would say is be introspective. and feel how it is that you feel. And then you should be doing some basic testing, blood work, panel. You should do some gene testing to figure out what mutations are in your body. Gary Brecka talks about this a lot, right? There should be certain things that based off of your genetic sequence, you shouldn't be eating. For all you know, you're eating gluten and you shouldn't be eating gluten. That's fucking up everything for you. And if you just cut that out, your life would improve. So every person has a different perspective. Talking about make it so hard to lose that it becomes easy to win. Once you commit to sort of say, hey, I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from this time to this time, nothing exists except that task. Just like when you're working, the gym shouldn't be crossing your mind, right? So the gym isn't your end all be all. There's a famous philosopher bodybuilder known as Mike Mentzer. And Mike Mentzer trained maybe once or twice a week. He was the one that invented or came up with the concept of HIIT, which is the high intensity interval training. And this concept of, I believe that was his, I may be mistaken, but long story short, he has this idea of training maybe once or twice a week, and then everything else is rest and recovery. And the dude was shredded, of course, he was on steroids, but point being, the gym should be a portion of your life. Exercising should be a portion of your life. It shouldn't be the end all be all. But dude, once again, when you're 7 years old and you can be doing laps and running, you're not gonna be like, oh shit, I wasted my time building this. Because you're gonna get there and money won't have the same level of priority that it does now. But if you gotta get the bag secured, and you're like, whatever, okay, go get the bag secured, but get it secured quick. But it'd be stupid to compromise something that you can get infinite amounts of for something that you can't get infinite amounts of, like your health.